Huh?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that? What was that noise?
Yeah, I do.
Did you just start recording something? This is a disaster.
It's gonna be fun.
Well, hey everybody. Welcome to a very, glow stick filled episode of Small Town Failing Podcast. I'm your host, Joe, joined by one half of the team that I promised for this episode. Good friend, Katelin and Randall. The better. Yeah, fuck Logan, that asshole.
No, we're done with him.
I'm kidding. So Katelin is here, who you have heard on, I think it was Pumpkin Spice Everything. And there was another episode we did, which I swear to God, I did research before. Research of my podcast.
Do you often listen to the podcast recordings?
I don't. No, I don't.
Oh, come on.
This whole thing is just for my own ego of, just people to listen to me ramble for an hour. But Logan was supposed to be here. Logan Cummings unfortunately ran into a snafu, so we will kind of reschedule
twice this week. Yeah. I don't know if you're ever gonna invite either of us back.
Well, it's rare that I have two people on, and I've discovered this week that just never again will never. Or
after you DM'd, you're like, we'll get it soon. It's fine. Katelin, we're going.
Well, I had Sophie and Andy, who you don't know either one of them. We did there, and now I'm starting to wonder, are they losers because they just had no problem coordinating?
Zero issue.
And now you two are oh, I've got tea with the queen and shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's all kidding aside, how's everything going, Katelin? I feel like we don't see each other, we don't work together anymore. But I feel like Instagram is mostly me posting pictures, pretending I'm enjoying fatherhood. But then I look at yours and you're on a boat, doing blow with strangers and stuff.
Okay. The blow part's not exactly the drug of choice, but oh no, I shouldn't have said that on a recording. But I have been having myself a summer, I'm not gonna lie. I've spent most of it in northern Michigan on boats. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I don't know. I had to get out of the city this summer. I don't know why. Everyone talks about Chicago summer. I'm like, you've never been to the lake.
What's funny?
Really privileged.
It does. But what I was about to say is, so Leslie and I come from the East Coast, and I grew up in upstate New York, worked in Manhattan for 13 years before we moved here. So we're used to the Hamptons, and yeah. So not to sound snooty, but when people say oh, we're going to Lake Michigan, I'm oh, that's
no,
trash.
Joe, you gotta go north, north of where the people that here are going. There's the Hamptons of the Midwest.
100%. And there's no doubt that everything that's going on there is something that Leslie and I could never afford or partake in. But there is a certain you say the Hamptons, right?
There's a difference.
There's a certain stigma around. And I should say, Leslie and I have only been to the quote unquote Hamptons once with some friends of ours years ago who had a house out there. And this was literally our early 20s. So it's not we were vacationing there. But if you ever get out to the North Fork of Long Island, the agricultural center at the Charney's Farms.
Oh,
it's a thing.
You have a farm out there?
Well, so my father's side of the family, my dad grew up on Long Island, so there's farms out there that my grandfather, my great grandfather owned, and then when my great grandfather passed away, they donated the land to the town. So now it's one of those little centers where kids go on field trips and stuff and learn about farming.
Wow!
So yeah, take the trip.
I'm going to, and I'm going to take a photo and Instagram it because you know how much I like Instagramming.
Absolutely.
It's how I get my dating profile content. You gotta be ready.
So I feel in the Hamptons, the activity of choice is you get a giant house and then you just go shopping to these small little boutiques. What is the Michigan equivalent? Do you go out and buy sausages and that sort of thing? What's the...
You drink a lot of beer. No. I think the Midwest equivalent is very similar, surprisingly. It's all those stupid stores that have the merch, the town merch, you know? They're cute little adorable towns that, are $75 t-shirt. They're
quaint as fuck,
getting
right?
Everyone to buy it. They're so quaint. But I actually, when we're there, I don't really leave the house. The neighboring houses. I kind of just like hide. But yes, that's where they're making all their money, is on these like $75 chicken tenders and, you know, a merch.
It's like these little like markets, right? That like the size of like a spare room, selling like $40
like
bagel
shanty,
chips.
Like one of the towns near where we live is called Leland, and there's a fish town within it. And it's just like these shanties on like the channel, and they're like dilapidated buildings like falling over, but everyone's like, they're so beautiful, like it's the charm of the town, you know.
I went to college in Philadelphia, and there was a section there called Fish Town, but it was much different.
A little different. Okay, yeah.
So I should say the movie we're watching this week, we watched Making Waves.
Speaking of small towns,
which just came out about a week ago on Hallmark. So it's still streaming, and you can kind of do your own thing. Follows a like a record label sort of assistant / like whatever they call it.
Always is an assistant to start, who is looking for their big break.
So this was it, right? Like she was an assistant, but then came on, like, what do they call those people that find like the artist, right? A talent scout?
I would never have known, but she said it like 3 different times. A&R or something.
Oh yeah, there you go. That makes sense.
Or maybe that's just like a broad term, but
I don't think A&R makes sense. I don't even know what that means.
Me either.
But so my question, so the reason why I kind of thought this would be a good one is because Lollapalooza just rolled through Chicago. Ooh. And have you ever been like, what is your stance on like festivals and that sort of thing?
It's going to be an unpopular opinion probably, but not to you. I am so out on Lollapalooza and like music festivals. I need a bathroom that has like actual walls. I need it to not have a line that's 2 hours long. I need alcohol to be readily available. And I don't really like crowds. Like, I don't like going to, it takes a lot for me to go to live music. I know I'm going to sound crazy, but like the commute there, the like walking 6 miles, then you're standing.
It's awful. And like a lot of the music I listen to is like in the smaller clubs and stuff. And I find myself, I'll buy tickets. And then day of, I'm like, I'm absolutely not going to that.
It's like Logan today.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, no, absolutely not. You know, but I mean, my justification is like, there's these bands, like they're not making Taylor Swift bank, right? Like they're playing these shitty small clubs in Chicago. So it's like, all right, you got my money. You don't really give a shit if I'm there or not. No. It's not like I'm going to be like screaming and like losing my shit while you're playing. So like, you know, you got your thing.
Taylor Swift was the one time I was like, I feel kind of remiss for not going, although like I hold firm in my I'm not going to a big show.
It's a lot. I've only been to one concert because I assume she played at Soldier Field, right?
Yeah, I think
like it was a whole thing. I saw U2 there because I'm in my 40s, and it was great, but it was like it's like a big stadium, so it's like
it's the worst. And I think Soldier Field is the worst to get to because you have to take the red line and then you have to walk.
There's no easy way.
Legitimately like 2 miles.
Well, even like I'm coming in from the burbs, so like one, I did like I paid for my parking beforehand, got to the parking lot, it was like full, and they're like, oh no, like just because you paid doesn't mean you get to come here. I'm like, okay, so I ended up parking Chicago. Like 3 miles away, and then you know just like walking over.
I also left an hour and a half early to get away from the crowd.
Well, here's my like tip for any concert is setlist.fm it's a website.
Oh, genius.
And people will post what the band plays. And if you're going to a concert where like they just play the same thing every night, you can look at that and be like, all right, I don't really care about the last 3 songs.
Yes.
That's it. I'm out of here. I do it all the time. It's like smart. My old man pro tip.
Like I just don't understand people like going to. I'm going to continue talking about Taylor Swift because it's all anyone's talking about. But like going to Taylor Swift and like standing outside the like not even getting a ticket, like going and driving for like however far away they're going, and then standing outside and singing. Like,
can you hear it? Can you hear the music?
I think so, but I'm still like, no, thank you.
I feel like so. I know nothing about Taylor Swift. Like, I know like a few songs and whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like I would go if like my kids wanted to or something just for like the spectacle because I feel like it's probably an amazing show.
I've
so
heard
the
it.
thought of like sitting in a parking lot just listening, like it doesn't make sense to me. But
because then you don't see the whole craft. Yeah. Anyway, so this Lollapalooza is a hard no from Katelin.
Yeah.
Forever. I've never once gone. I've lived in the city, I think 10 years now.
Do you want to know? I have been to Lollapalooza. Do you want to know what year I went?
I sure do. It was probably like 2005.
Oh my God, not even 1996. I think is the.
How old were you?
So I was in high school, and
Okay,
I went and saw back. So you probably don't even know Lollapalooza used to be a touring thing. So it wasn't like just Chicago. It would like tour the country. So I saw it in Saratoga, New York.
There you go.
On the last year. The funny thing is, so do you know who the Ramones are? Are you familiar with
I do know the name. I couldn't tell you a single song if you paid.
It's fine. I love like my favorite band ever, and they're all dead now, so I'm never gonna see them again. I just this past week went to put on the shirt that I got at that show, and as I was putting on, my nose like ripped through it. Like it was so old and like falling apart. It just like
that's so sad.
It is. It's really because it's like
that's a cool story. Like to have a T-shirt from the thing that you go to. I'll give you that you wear for 17 years.
Older than people like I work with, and like there's no way I'm ever gonna get again. It was like specific to that show. They're all dead. They're never going to tour again. Like it's.
So how are you feeling? You're like pretty sad about it.
I'm not doing great. I'm not doing great.
I can sense that. I wasn't sure if it was that or other things.
But that is the only time I've been. Me and some of the dads in the neighborhood go to Riot Fest every year.
Okay.
But Riot Fest is a very sort of dad like experience. It's like a giant area. It's a crowd, but like you can very much just watch everything, like staying away from everybody. And then also it's me and 3 other like 45-year-olds.
I was just gonna say, is it for you guys to like rock out for like
everybody there thinks we're narcs. So like as we go to see a show, like I'm not even joking, there's like a circle around us, like, nope, not today, cops.
Yeah, I was gonna say they think you're calling the cops. They think you're undercover. Yeah. That's amazing. So you just get to vibe.
It's a whole thing. So anyway, Making Waves just came out about a week and a half ago, directed by Terry Ingram, who has directed the Wedding Veil trilogy series, whole thing. So he's got. Are you familiar with the Wedding Veilaverse at all, by chance? It's like
a Hallmark thing.
It's a Hallmark thing, but like literally there's like 19 movies in it. It's like
now I'm gonna be.
It's what is her name? Lacey Chambert is in there. It's kind of like when Great American Family or whatever that other channel came out.
Oh, yes.
And Candace Cameron.
Part of Hallmark, right?
It's not. No. It's pretty much like if Trump started a Hallmark channel. Like, so Candace Cameron Bure like went there, and it was the whole thing where she's like, "Oh, it's traditional family values and blah blah blah." Pretty much Hallmark said, "Fuck you, Lacey Chambert is our like."
Our version,
our go-to now. So like she's there, Autumn Reeser and Allison Sweeney, who
she sounds familiar.
Yeah, she used to be the host of The Biggest Loser. She was on I forget like some of the I don't know, it's not even the movie we watched.
Little
I don't know why
we're
talking about
it. We got distracted.
But anyway, the guy who directed it directed this. And then starring what the hell is her name? They don't put it in order on IMDb.
She's newish. I haven't seen her before.
Helen
Neither have I seen him.
She's been in a bunch of stuff, nothing I've ever seen, but not that's an issue. And then the guy, what is it, Wheel, right? Corey Cott, which sounds like made up, but whatever.
He didn't like his real name. He went with that.
So the whole thing focuses on her. She's an A&R rep, which again, I don't know what that means, but let's just go with it. Working at kind of this, not struggling, but this married couple started a record company, got divorced. The husband went and started his own thing. The wife stayed and kept control. And now like there's all this pressure to like bring in these big artists and make it happen. And the lead character, Emily, played by Holland, is kind of tasked at like pulling in this band that she's alerted her boss to, but like nobody really knows anything about. And like that's kind of the whole thing, right? starts with a scene. Where are they in
Oh my
Seattle?
God. Okay, first of all, they claim to, I have so many thoughts about the first scene, but they claim to be in the Outer Banks. And I'm sorry, that is not that is not the Southeast. That is absolutely the Pacific Northwest. That is either the Pacific Northwest or it's well,
it's most likely Canada.
Like, yeah, it's Vancouver. I'm
based on these movies. The other thing the thing I found disturbing is the entire like intro is her kind of listening to the music or whatever.
Talking to JoJo.
JoJo is like their version of Alexa in this movie. But she's also on like a Peloton in her window. And I'm like, you just got apartments around. You are obviously at least being stalked by one man, if not more, like watching you work on a window. Like,
but I also kind of appreciate Hallmark's attempt to be relevant. You know, they're like, we've got the Peloton, we've got the JoJo. We've got the Alexa, their version of the Alexa, but they can't afford the rights to saying it. It was an interesting scene. I was like, where are we going here, Joe?
You know what's funny is I have so many notes, like 2 pages worth, and normally I watch the movie like the day before we're supposed to record, but since we pushed a few days, none of these make sense. Like I have zero. Like I just have one that says like she hates indie pop. Like I don't know what the fuck that means now. Like
the boss hated indie pop.
Oh, all right.
She wants to do like an indie record with it or label within the label. And it seems as if the like owner of that label is real struggling with the indie side of the like industry. She really just wants a pop group.
Well, yeah, because there's this. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Logan did message us and said, my one zinger was, this looks like a town where Katelin would have one of her homes.
That makes sense. Like this definitely could be like.
You're not wrong.
You know, it could be like a Michigan type thing.
Yeah, I'd spend time there. I don't know about how like this all got started, and she is like I couldn't figure out where she was supposed to be living. I was like, is this New York City? Is this?
I don't know why I assumed Seattle. Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing I'm gonna need, and we're gonna jump around a lot. I'm gonna need your help on this too because I don't remember what this means, but I have in quotes. We have a cornhole emergency. What is that?
Wait, what? I definitely missed that part.
Oh, no, I think I'm putting it together. So the whole idea is she wants to like bring in these indie artists to the record label and blah, blah, blah. And her boss, who, hang on, let me find it while we're talking. Her boss is like kind of on the edge. I'm not really sure if this should be a thing that we should go into. But there is this music festival back in her hometown, which is in the like Pacific West or wherever.
No, it's in South Carolina. It's supposed to be in South Carolina.
Is it supposed to be South Carolina?
I think the Outer Banks are in South because that's like where that Netflix show was.
No, you're 100% right. Wait, which one? The Righteous Gemstones? Is that what you're thinking? No, that's HBO.
Literally the show Outer Banks. The teen show Outer Banks. Come on, Joe. You're not watching teen. You're not watching teen drama.
No, I'm watching fucking Hallmark.
You're watching Lifetime and Hallmark movies.
How weird is it that I'm just like a 45 dad of two sitting upstairs, like smoking weed, watching these fucking movies? I'm gonna do a goddamn podcast.
Every time I tell my friends I'm going on your podcast, I'm like, yeah, we watch and review Hallmark movies. You know, there's kind of a niche out there of, you know, people who like to watch Hallmark movies and listen to people talk about it.
There's a niche, but there's not a niche for like 45-year-old straight assholes just rambling about
We're ripping apart the movies.
Well, they're not. Like, I generally
Sometimes
like these
movies.
Like
them. Yeah, me too.
For sure. Not this time, per se.
Oh, really? I was going to say, you made me watch some pretty shitty ones. So I think this one was of the ones.
We'll see.
The last time we watched was the one that you made me watch where it was like a high school reunion and they got stoned in. Okay.
Yeah, that one I thought was good, right? Did we like that? I don't remember.
It's okay. We'll keep going on this one.
But anyway, her boss, Lydia, is kind of on the fence of like, I don't know about this whole thing. But Emily convinces her that like, hey, let me go to this festival, Making Waves in the Outer Banks. It's where I grew up. It's amazing. I'm going to go home, sign this band, which I know I have the name of the band in the notes, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Crazy Eights.
Crazy Eights. That's right. Oh, no, figure eights.
Oh, yep, figure eights. I was
That's
gonna say
another thing.
infinity eights. I was
I
gonna
had a
say
note here that said figure eights, and I'm looking at it like, I don't know what the fuck that means. So she agrees, and she's like, hey, if this turns out to be big, we're going to start our whole sort of indie arm.
Yeah.
You can lead that up. And
Yeah.
like, this is Emily's like big dream, you know? So
Yes,
Lydia
clearly.
agrees to do that. Meanwhile, go get me my fucking coffee, Emily. All right. Like, you're still.
That was tough. She did the classic, like, stop by. And then
Real
when she
dick
walked into
move.
the office, she's like, I'm not your assistant anymore.
Yeah. But she's like, yeah, I know, but you do it really
You're
well.
all my assistants. Yeah.
Have you ever had a boss and like you don't have to name names and you don't have to say the place we worked at? But
Yeah.
that was
You
like,
asked for coffee.
yeah, like it's a dick move.
No, I've never. Have you?
So my first job out of college, I worked in Schenectady, New York, and my boss, he's probably like, he wasn't the healthiest, so I can't, and it was like, 25 years ago, so he's probably, God knows. He, like, if I was ever going to get my lunch, he used to be like, oh, can you just get me this too? And it's like, ugh, like, so this is more story than
So
you
you
ever.
don't do that to you don't do that to your employees, though.
I would never, no, like, but he was like very unhealthy, like I'm concerned about him. And there used to be this place in Saratoga or in Schenectady where you get these things called the sanduche, and literally it was like an Italian loaf of bread, and they would make a sandwich out of it, and not like a small. I don't like what I'm doing here, but like a huge loaf of bread, and it would make you a sandwich, and it's like you could get one and eat for like 4 days. And he would be like, ask them. This one time he asked me, can you just ask them if they can make a chicken salad sandwich one? And I'm like, dear God, if I get you that, you're going to die. Like, I'm not going to be a part of this. Like, I refuse.
The amount of mayo that was probably on that sandwich.
Dead. He would have been dead by the end of the day because he would eat the entire thing. And like, no shame. Like, they were delicious. Unbelievable. But I'm just like, I can't be a part of this. I remember I got into the car with one of my coworkers and we went to go get them. And my coworker's like, you can't do that. You can't get that for him. I'm like, no.
Stop.
So we get there and they do have them. But then I went back and I'm like, I got you a turkey because they don't have chicken salad. And I'm like, he never went. He always just asked me to get it. And like, he never found out, but they absolutely had chicken salad. But I probably saved his life. So
you did. He's probably still around and thriving because of that.
Not all heroes wear capes. He also had an extra toe. Just a heads up.
Okay.
He showed me once in the office.
Anyway, like HR should have found out about it.
It was a thing. So anyway, she goes to, back to her hometown, ends up staying at this like bed and breakfast type place, which is owned by
her best friend.
Her best friend / maybe like cousin or something. I don't know.
They'd never fucking met before in their entire life. I mean, their chemistry as friends were like, there was negative amounts. Like, that was the first time they ever met.
So here's the thing. Like, so this is a perfect example. You're in Michigan, right? I assume you're staying at like a rented place, or do you have an actual house out there? Like, are you that fucking rich? Yeah. Jesus Christ.
No, my parents have a place.
So Leslie and I have visited out there, and like you get like an Airbnb or something. Yeah. And like you don't leave pictures of yourself up, right? Because that's weird.
No, that's so creepy.
This place where they're staying and like people are supposed to say, although we only see Emily ever like staying at this place, pictures of her and her friend and like the family all over this house. Like nobody wants to rent a hotel or an Airbnb and like
all your photos staring at them in the middle of the
night. Like doing foul things to their significant other while like somebody's kids are like hanging above your bed. Like absolutely not.
Literally, that is so tragic.
Right? Like, because I gotta assume most people are going to Michigan to get away from their kids and have a weekend away, and like God knows like what they're doing to each other, and then like you've got someone's like family reunion staring at them.
Yeah, couldn't be me. That is a good point on that.
It's disgusting. But that's where the cornhole emergency happens, because I guess at one point like they're trying to like set up a game of cornhole out back, and like I just wrote this down because it's the most disgusting line that's ever been like said in a movie. Like, we have a cornhole emergency.
Okay, have you ever been okay, so
Yeah.
did you grow up calling cornhole, or did you call it bags?
This is going to be awful. So when I grew up, that was not a game.
Okay. You love to do the "I'm old" jokes, don't you?
It's not a joke. Like I never heard of it until I think Leslie and I went down to Virginia to see her family, and like they had it. But even this was like in the early 2000s.
But I feel like everyone in Chicago is like, "No, it's bags." Like they get, you know how Chicago can
Is
get
it?
about things. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, they call it tennis shoes, even if you're not playing tennis.
Yeah,
A
that's
bubbler for the, whatever. It's a whole, yeah. I disagree with a lot of things that go on in
I know
this
you're
town.
still stuck here. I was gonna say you're still stuck here, but you're a New Yorker at heart.
It's weird. Like Leslie and I still talk like we just moved here, but every time I think about it, like we've been here 11 years. Like
You're like, we've been here a decent portion of
we're
our
like
lives.
2 years away from being here longer than like I worked in New York. So, it's
Oh,
time to give it up.
do you think you're gonna go back?
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we're getting off track.
Should we be talking through this? No, at this point, like I will say, so the Midwest, I was real homesick for like our first year, but every time we go back, and like, so I'm going back in, Leslie and I are taking a trip in November, and
Okay.
we're gonna stay in Manhattan, and we're looking at
Oh,
stuff, and I'm
fun.
like, every place that we loved is closed, like it's gone.
It's
So it's just like
they've
I don't
had a
even know
lot
like
of
what's there
changeover.
anymore. Yeah.
They've had a lot of change. Okay, wait. Back to the cornhole of it all. That
Hmm.
was a gross line. Now that you, thank you for reminding me of
Yeah.
that. I must have blacked that part out. But can we go back for like just a quick second? It'll transition us forward though.
Yeah.
When
Absolutely.
she discovers this band on JoJo or whatever because it
Hmm.
like popped up, and she like brings it to the meeting, and she's like, "This is the like most unique or whatever sound." And I literally have a note that said that is legitimately the least unique sound of all time.
It
Like
was
this
awful.
band couldn't have been less unique if it tried.
The song, you're right. I forgot about this. She plays the song for her boss,
Oh my
who, by the
god.
way, is using like some neck massager at that time, and I'm just like,
That is
what?
the first comment I have. The massager, period. I cannot. That is like
Yeah,
in tabs on my notes. The
like
massager.
keep that thing out of your office, all right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
That is a harassment waiting to happen.
like I don't know who the band is that actually played these songs or something, but like that
I
song
know.
they played was some of the worst shit I've ever heard. And
It
like
was
I'm
so bad.
I'm very much like I decided years ago. It's like it's funny because I was just having this conversation with
Yeah.
my 12-year-old. Like people like different music. Like
You
the
can't
stuff
get
I
mad.
listen to is awful, I'm sure, to other people. So like, who am I to shit on anybody else's music? But like the figure eights, for all intents and purposes, is some of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. Like it's so bad.
It was objectively hard to listen to. I was like, oh
And
no.
her boss, like while she's using her vibrator that she's pretending to use for like her neck pains, it's like, oh yeah, this sounds great, like after like a 5-second clip, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, absolutely, we'll pay
Also,
for this,
not
you go home.
indie, by the way. Not
No.
indie, even like a little. Like I could have fine if it was like a pop label, maybe, but like that is the least indie music you've ever heard in your entire life.
So weird. So she goes back home.
Yeah.
Sam is the name. For some reason I have that Sam was her cousin, that owns this like little
Okay.
Airbnb or whatever. Sam, I had a lot of concerns about. Like,
Oh my god, that I want to talk mostly about because she has no soul.
there is a Lifetime movie where Sam is in some sort of abusive relationship. Like,
She snaps. She snaps. She's
there
going to snap
is like every interaction with her is like, you seem like she's very unhappy in her relationship and her
in
marriage.
life.
Her
Yeah.
husband, he was
Supposed
not.
to be Latino.
Yes. Like it
Yeah.
just, I could not figure out the backstory with those two or like what the hell was going on. But like Sam had a lot of sadness in her eyes, and like I was
So
generally
much.
concerned for her.
I
Uh
think I wrote that exact note where it was like,
yeah,
she hates her life.
she's got some things going on. But as they're kind of reconnecting, and the conversation is very much like, oh, we kind of lost touch and blah blah blah, like we were very close when we were young.
Yeah.
They used to go to this bar, which I'm sure I have in my notes somewhere, but I forget the name.
Oh, I can't remember it either.
And they kind of bring up her ex that she
Yeah.
dated all through high school, Will. And it turns out Will works at this bar that,
I think it's his uncle's bar or something.
It's his uncle's, right? And like he's going to take over when his uncle eventually drops dead or whatever.
From too many sandwiches. It's always, go ahead.
This Making Waves festival is supposed to be like the biggest thing in the town. And they make it out that this bar is where like all the bands kind of go there to warm up. And she goes there, starts talking to her ex, Will, who happens to be the bartender there.
Yep.
I mean, you kind of see where this is going, right? Like, she says, "Oh, I'm trying to find the figure eights," and like he seems a little taken back, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know them well." Blah blah blah.
So weird.
At this point, like I don't think we're spoiling anything. You're like, "Oh, Will is obviously in the figure eights."
Yes.
And then you get this interesting thing where like she goes outside because her boss calls. And her boss is like, you got to be there. You got to be watching these bands. You got to get your shit together, blah, blah, blah. She kind of pitches this band, the Mary Anns, that she sees at the bar too. And she's like, I need you to stay focused. Now let's talk for the next 45 minutes out on the pier rather than you going.
Playing.
Exactly. So she goes back inside and Will's like, oh, no. They already played. And you saw, like, that's it. They're gone. And she's like, oh, geez, how did I miss them when I was out having a phone conversation for the last hour?
But also, like, here's a plot hole for me is like, you would have fucking heard the music. Pardon my French.
Also,
like they were outside. The area where they were singing was outside.
Right there. Also, it seems like they played a song. Like that was their whole thing.
Yeah, no, I only think they have one song, Joe. Like I only think they have that one song. Because later he wrote that song for her from high school. And that was the only other song we heard.
So beautiful. So then we get this kind of other subplot, right? That like the uncle brings up the fact that like
the bar is like
the bar where like the bands perform happens to be on a pier that he doesn't technically own.
There's always a subplot where somebody like is going to get evicted.
That this like conglomerate is coming in and like buying everything up. I don't think we ever actually find why they're coming in, right? To buy everything.
I think the guy that he had a gentleman's deal with died.
Well,
so
he
the guy
died,
who owned the
like,
marina, and so then I guess maybe that's why they're redeveloping it or something. I don't know.
Like they don't really say like what they're redeveloping it into.
No. Like why you couldn't just make the same deal with that other people who were going to buy it? I have no idea.
But
we
also
didn't go down that avenue. We went straight to the stress.
But it's real weird because like at what point are you like, oh yeah, like we just had a gentleman's agreement for like 40 years that this is
for us to
fine.
play music outside on like a marina,
but
feels
just like this small little like area, everything else is fine, but this area, no, absolutely.
Which, by the way, there were like 4 people watching those bands.
Yeah, which exactly. So we got to talk about this fucking festival because like they do and. Like, again, like the whole reason I'm like, oh, Lollapalooza's just rolled through. Like, this will be fun. And like, they set it up as like a music festival. This is a state fair at like the lowest level.
It is so dark. Yeah. It kind of gave me Sweet Home Alabama vibes, like that state fair.
A little bit, but with less people.
Yes, exactly. Like emptier somehow.
Like there was not many people at this thing, and like it made me a little sad for the figure eights. I'm just gonna tell you,
it did. And well, like they also weren't supposed to be on like the top seat. Like they were supposed to be on like the 3rd stage or something. And she had to like bribe the guy with a sandwich or a hot dog or something.
If that was the main stage, how many people are showing up to like the 3rd stage or like wherever they're supposed to be? Yeah. She told her boss that it was like the place to be, like this was the festival to go to, and like 0 people were there. Yeah, it was a little concerning.
And she was trying to help sorry, I have so many thoughts now. Everything's coming out. Everything's coming out.
None of my notes make sense, so please.
When she's there, like, and she's getting her hot dog after running in the morning or whatever, and she's like, running on the beach is so, because he's like, it's 10 a.m. or whatever, and she's like, I ran on the beach this morning. It was so hard. You're like, so unnecessary.
I'm bushed. First of all. Give me some hot dogs.
Yeah. Like, how is that after running on the beach, your first, it has nothing to do with workout. Like, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a 10:30 a.m. hot dog.
And then the same hot dog vendor is the one that she used to bribe the guy who's in charge of where people are playing. Yeah. Like, fact that you can change what stage people are playing on the weekend of just like is exactly what we needed to know about this music festival.
Exactly. No, I think
It
that
was like
sums
the
this up
local
perfectly.
fair. So like where you grew up, just out of curiosity, did your like in Cincinnati, where Logan, if he was here and I grew up, they had like all of the Catholic churches had like summer festivals, like with rides and everything. It was like the thing to do. You'd go to like St. Gertie's Festival, St. Gertrude's, or like you'd go to All Saints like one weekend or whatever.
We had a carnival, but it was not like, it was nothing. I mean, I grew up in like the boonies, like upstate,
but it gave that vibe where it was like, I feel like those were even better attended, you know?
It very much reminded me of like the carnival where I grew up. If they had just thrown a stage in there, like
and then maybe like an off stage for like the local garage band.
There's
is essentially what Crazy Eights, not Crazy Eights,
Figure Eights.
Yes.
Whatever. Let's just stick with whatever.
Infinity Eights.
Did they have at yours the Gravitron, the Vomitron, like that little thing?
Sure did.
Just the most disgusting thing in the world. Yeah.
No, I don't mess with that's one thing. I don't mess with rides.
I hate them. Are you like a roller? Do you mind roller coasters and everything, or?
I hate it all. I hate it.
Wow, interesting.
Like I went to like my parents split time between Michigan and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went to my sister-in-law loves. Yeah, it does kind of track. Mom, don't listen. She's in the nice part of Florida, but anyway, we went to Universal Studios or whatever, wherever Harry Potter is.
Yeah, that's Disney. Universal. Yeah.
No, we went to the Disney one, I think. Is there one at Disney?
There's no Harry Potter at Disney. There's a Star Wars.
Okay, there we go. Exactly. We went to Universal and like I tried to go on rides. I had to sit on the sidewalk for like every ride. I went to like the Harry Potter one where they're like taking you through Hogwarts.
Oh yeah.
And I about threw up in my
That's a lot. I mean, yeah. Like that stuff I can do. I took my daughter last year or the year before to Hershey Park. Like it was like a daddy-daughter type weekend thing. Like we flew there, we did this whole thing. We got there, went on 2 rides, and I'm like, oh God, like I don't feel so good. Like dad's got to go find some like Benadryl and like you can go on a couple things by yourself. I felt so awful. I mean, she had a great time. Like
I feel sick.
Yeah. Like I can do roller coasters, like the wooden ones, like the looping stuff.
AI and stuff. Like when they put you in like when you're supposed to be in an augmented reality, you're like, I can't. I'm flying through Hogwarts right now. No,
it's like super cool, but like it definitely like you start to feel nauseous and everything's getting old is the fucking worst.
But even roller coasters I struggle with. So my point to the movie is I would not be one of those on any of those rides.
Absolutely not.
None of them.
So at this point, like they're at the festival and she realizes, oh, Will is the lead singer of this band that like I'm obsessed with. By
the way.
We dated in high school. Like this is a whole thing. Obviously he's going to sign with us. Turns out Lydia's ex is there as well with whatever record company he owns, kind of courting them. And like, here's where the real conflict is, right? Like Will obviously still has feelings for Emily and he wants to sign with her, but this bar that is about to be bought out, he needs a shit ton of money to buy this pier. Lydia's ex is offering them a lot more money so he can buy the pier.
Yep.
And like that's where the real struggle is. But then it just kind of goes by the wayside, right? And they just go to the beach and like hang out and like
he's like, can we not talk about work?
It's so for about a third of the movie, it's just like they're dating. Like there's no like record companies involved.
And I can't figure out why they broke up. I like must have blacked out during that part.
No.
Just so we're clear, like I was sober at the time, so it was a sober blackout, but it was that kind of where I couldn't listen to what they were saying.
Sometimes you space out.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out why they broke up. Like he wanted her on stage and she got stage fright. Like I'm super confused.
So I did pick up this and it's coming back to me. So he had this band in high school and apparently she used to sing as well, but she always had a lot of stage fright.
Yeah.
He wrote this song specifically for her. And I guess at like in high school when they were seniors was like come on stage, sing this with me. She got up there, got stage fright. And then I guess after that, they never spoke about it. And she assumed he was pissed because she ran off stage. He assumed she was pissed because he put her on the
And
spot
he
to
goes,
come
I
up.
thought you'd never want to talk to me again. I'm like, a whomst?
Yeah. But like they never like had a conversation about this or like anything came
Did
up.
she just like leave town the next day? Like that's where I'm like, this
I
feels.
assume so. Like in whatever this, cornhole emergency type
She got
world.
sucked into it and then
Yeah. So it's interesting because, and I guess we'll spoil this at this point. Like you kind of feel like, all right, he's going to sign with her, right? And like she's going to get to start this indie arm. It's going to be a whole thing.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, he's like, yes, we are going to sign with you. Lydia comes to town and meets with Will and is just like, oh, we're going to make you a rock star. We're going to change your image. We're going to change your
She is
sound.
the worst character on this
She comes
entire
in like hard. And Will's like, what the fuck? Like, no, I don't want this.
And then he blames,
he blames her. And like in every one of these, right? That there's usually some sort of confrontation like this. He blames her. Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of go their separate ways. But then I guess in the background, she also decides to call up a bunch of bands that have played at this
bar, right?
To save the bar. So here's the thing. She goes to the bar. She tells him like, hey, me and Sam are going to start our own record label. We want to sign you. Also, we called all these famous bands that played at your bar like for over the years, and we got them to donate money. The mistake they make is showing the like printout of the Excel document. Cause I don't know if you read down that. It was like every band gave like $75, $250. Like,
no,
if you tallied up everything, there may have been like $13,000 there. And I'm like, I got to imagine this beer costs a lot more than whatever the hell is on this piece of paper.
Okay, so to go back like a tiny half step, the ex-husband must have a bigger budget to sign people, right? Mm-hmm. So his deal was, the offer on the table was way bigger than the deal.
It was enough to like pretty much cover whatever they needed to buy the beer.
I guess I'm just so bad. I like have no idea how much like a record label deal would give you, but I feel like both of them, that feels like nothing either way.
I assume, I don't know. I mean, for
like 6 people, like you're like, his band didn't look small.
For this band that's playing at whatever like podunk carnival this place fair. Is like, but still
can't be very big. Yeah,
I guess I don't know. I don't know anything either. But like, I assume record deals now are not what they used to be. With everything streaming and whatever. So,
good point. So they're probably a lot smaller. Okay, all right, that makes sense. Thank you for talking me through that because I was like, just like. Either way, first of all, I have no idea how much this beer costs. And second of all,
I would think hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Because it's a pier. Like this is, oceanfront property. And like this, and I didn't pause it and tally up, but like 20 grand at most was on this piece of paper. And it's like, there's no way in hell.
That's where sometimes I just get like, Hallmark gets so close and then they do things like that. And I'm like, do they do that because it's comfort for all of us to know, like where they just get the, they do the wrong amount of money or they do like, they make it look a little bit old or whatever. It's just like, is that the charm that we all get sucked into? I
didn't understand why they even bothered showing the numbers, right? Like just give him a check and be like, everybody chipped in. We got it. We paid for this.
Also when they're like all the famous bands that have come through here. And
like the figure eights that, nobody fucking knows. Well, we didn't even talk about the fact that Sam and her husband are selling their like Airbnb or whatever the hell the thing is.
I think it's just a B&B, but fair. You're giving Airbnb a lot of free ads. No free ads, babes.
Their VRBO, where you can, rekindle your marriage while pictures of their kids
staring at exactly.
But the husband ends up selling, but keeping the cottage that I guess is out back.
Okay, yeah, that was a last second reveal.
I guess that saves their marriage. Like,
well, and when they couldn't figure out where they wanted to go if they were to sell it, and one said Montana and one said Mykonos or Greece or something, you're like, they are not married,
right? things are not going well. I do.
No, and then they agreed on Italy, which, fair. I do love me some Italy, so I'll give it to them.
I think about this all the time. Like, there's always these third or whatever fourth tier characters in these movies that like I want to see them
more of.
like
Yes,
a movie just with them, right? Like,
yes,
I just like everything kind of forks off into like these two, and then we get their story, and it's a thing. Yeah.
Although I will say that Will and
Emily,
they had chemistry.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And that is rare in these movies where like they actually, I think, wanted to bone.
Maybe they did. I
think they might have.
Every once in a while I get, because I like Google all these movies, I get a lot of like random like news suggested to me where it's like these two are actually dating in real life. Like maybe they did. Like maybe they really.
Do you have a podcast for not only do you have a Hallmark podcast, but you're like on the inside on the Reddits.
Like Google, I think at a certain point is just going to be like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with you, Joe. Like what your deal is.
What do I suggest you? Like it's so you're like, I listen to punk rock and I watch
a lot of Hallmark movies. Like this is why, and now like just completely like I have some good friends in this neighborhood, but sometimes I'm talking to them and I feel like they just look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like they're talking about like the Bears and sports and stuff. And I'm like, hey, did you guys see the latest episodes of The Housewives? And they're just like, you fucking idiot. Like, get out.
Wait. Oh, I really wish this was Vanderpump Rules because
Let's just talk about that. Like, I feel like we've wrapped up with the movie, right? Like, well, let's just wrap that up and then we'll get to Vanderpump. So, so they save the pier. Will and the Figure Eights end up signing with this new record label that Sam and Emily start.
But like Sam has never or is that her name? Sam has never spoken about music once. So like
the only thing
it's our dream. We're like, what?
Well, so when Emily first comes back home and explains what she does, Sam's like, oh, that sounds really cool. And like, that's it. That's all we've ever heard. And then at the end, she's like, yes, we're starting a record label.
It was like, and with what money? Like, as somebody who like it's gonna sound braggy, but I am a co-founder of a company, and like you don't do anything without money. Like, how she's signing people without investor? Like,
no, that's not something that we need to think through.
You're right. Let's go back to Vanderpump.
So Will and his band sign with them, and we kind of ride off into the sunset. They stay together, and like that's that. So anyway, Vanderpump Rules. Go for it.
Well, first to end that, I actually enjoyed that movie compared to some of, again, like I think Pumpkin Spice was far worse. So.
Oh, that was rough. Like
that was rough. So I feel happy that was our movie. Right. And also I think it does go back to my love of like hair. I wish it was of Harry Styles on screen, but otherwise like it was fine,
So you would give this a thumbs up? Like maybe let's wrap this up in there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would probably go thumbs down, and I don't know, like I think I just had a lot of trouble getting over the fact that like they couldn't put a little more effort into making this look like a real music festival. Like
I agree. Like you can't pay people to be in the background at least like a couple shots.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so
fair enough. Okay.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Who in this would be your like happily ever after? Like who do you kind of ride off into the sunset with this whole sort of ordeal?
I thought Will's gone hot.
Will's a good-looking gentleman.
Yeah, I'd probably go with him.
I wouldn't argue that. I wouldn't
kick him out of bed.
I don't know. I may go with Will too. Like I don't know who in this. Amelia. Is it Amelia? Have we been calling her Emily the whole time? It's Amelia.
It's Amelia. But I went with it. Honestly, like I don't even. You're right. Maybe I should thumbs down it, considering like I don't remember the name of the movie or the characters.
She had some like wonderful actress. I think she did a great job. Yeah. A lot of her reactions though were just like very off-putting. Like there was just a lot of facial expressions and like
I think she's working through her Botox. Like I think she's working through like how to move with the filler.
That's valid. That's valid for sure.
It takes a second. We've all been there.
I would probably go, and I couldn't tell you like who they were in the movie, but like one of the Mary Anns maybe, like of that band. Like they seem like they're just nice people that are trying to do their thing. Maybe they're polygamous. Maybe I could marry them both. Like maybe we could, just have a thing.
Ride off into the sunset together.
Yeah. All right, so that's Making
That's
Waves.
the movie.
I think 2 thumbs down now. I don't know, but
yes, I think too. I would agree. I don't. If I can't remember the name, then we're
changed your
out.
mind because I couldn't remember the name.
That's kind of important. How do I tell people to watch it if you don't know the name?
So where, more importantly, where are you with Vanderpump Rules and like, what's
Oh
your
my God, the
thoughts?
scandal of it all. Like we
It's
haven't
a whole
talked
thing.
obviously since that. Like, how are you doing?
Well,
You're like
have
the
you
number
seen
one.
the latest? Like, apparently everybody's pissed off because now there's pictures because they're filming again, and there's
Yeah.
like Lala hugging him like on the beach and stuff.
Yes.
And I'm like, at what point did you think Lala was like the center of like morality, right? Like,
She's out for Lala.
she's a fucking piece of trash. Like, I hate her. Like,
oh my God. She's the one you hate. Like, that's
oh,
hilarious.
hate. Like, if I was gonna rank them all, like, she would be my Mount Rushmore of
How do you
hated.
feel about Shishi?
Sheena?
Yeah.
Love her. She is so batshit crazy. I think I've told this story on the show before, but like Leslie cannot stand her. Like, it's just so when we had our second
She's so dumb.
when we had our second kid, Madeline, who is 4 now, like, you've heard of push presents, right? Like, you have a baby and I'm supposed to buy like a diamond ring or something, like,
yeah, what you get?
Which by all means, like, childbirth and labor and just carrying a kid is the most unbelievably awful thing in the world. Yeah. But I'm like, jewelry didn't seem to really match what was needed. So I got her cameo of Sheena. And literally, so Cameo.
How she hasn't divorced your ass yet. That's so impressive.
This is amazing. So Cameo, pretty much you pay for it and you send in your request. Yeah. Which, by the way, Small Town Failing Podcast, if you want a cameo from yours truly.
Oh my God, I'm going to do that for birthday gifts now.
It's a thing. Oh my God, it's amazing.
I'll do it for Logan's birthday. I'm going to do it for Logan's birthday.
It's literally like, I think I have it at like $3, like whatever the cheapest you could do. But so you send it in and then you get like 5 days or something before you could, before it gets like cut off, right? Because you can't just like pay for it and then it disappears. So like, I sent it in, did not hear anything. And then I get like a notification. It's like, all right, Sheena Marie has like 6 hours left to do this, right? 4 a.m. we're up feeding the baby because it's like the middle of the night and she's awake. And I get like a text and it says, Sheena has sent you her cameo. And like, no joke, it's 3 a.m. on like a Tuesday. We're just watching like probably Hallmark or QVC because like, we're feeding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to take a look at this. And it's Sheena Marie on cameo, just like, I love the names you picked. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, and Leslie's like, what
I'm gonna kill you.
What is going on here? Like, it was amazing, but also just like surreal. Like, it was a whole thing.
That is hilarious. Only you would do that though.
Yeah.
Like, and also only it would happen at 4 a.m. because otherwise she might murder you.
I just like, so she's in the West Coast, right? So it's like a 2-hour time difference, but still, I'm just like, at 1 a.m. you're up like recording cameos, just like sending them out.
It's a lucrative business. Like, she's got to make her money somewhere. They're living in like, by the way, they all moved to the Valley.
It's crazy. Like,
how are they not making more money?
Well, I mean, do you remember like the first seasons? Like, they were just like shitty 1-bedroom apartments and like the AC didn't work. Like,
but you would think after 10 years they would like have a little stock. I don't think they need money managers, Joe.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, I still assume those houses are crazy expensive that they're living in.
But did you see Ariana post? Because I think it was Sheena that was hugging Sandoval or like in a scene with Sandoval or something. And she had to post like, it's okay. Like,
yeah, you need to watch the show. Like, yeah.
yeah. Like, relax. Although, like, I'm a little upset that something about her, whatever it is, that the sandwich shop. Like, you got to fucking open the sandwich shop.
Is it still not open?
No. They posted recently, like, about a tasting, and I'm like, you are missing your window. Like, idiots.
Those sandwiches are going to be awful too. Like, I'm sorry.
They look in the preview on last season. They look so gross.
It's like a low rent. Like, I don't know.
Like, do we think Raquel's going to come back?
I don't think so. I think they've said like she has not been there for filming. Like,
so far, but like how?
She's got to pop up.
You think so, right? I think she wants her bag. Okay, but the way that like she came in, okay, first of all, I was disappointed by the reunion.
The reunion, yeah. I agree.
I was like, we made me sit through like 4 weeks of this, and also like then I have so many questions in response to the last 10 minutes, like the last 5 minutes. She looks like an actual sociopath in that last bit.
Insane.
Where she's like laughing.
Absolutely insane. I was thinking of this. What I want is a you remember like those shows Rock of Love and like Daisy of Love and like that used to be on
Yes.
I need a Raquel of Love. Like I want her with just like 20 men in a house and like she's picking them. Like this is she seems
what was
like
the one with Flava Flav in it?
Flavor of Love. They're all just of love. Like she seems like the perfect amount of batshit crazy that would be amazing for like this type of show.
She really would.
Like I think VH1 and Bravo are like missing
and the fact that like it took me like 2 weeks like it popped in my head like a week and a half later that was like, wait, they hooked up in Mexico? And then I was like, so she hooked up with both Toms
Yeah, both Toms. She made out with Tom, like, I mean, at the table, like during the wedding or whatever.
Yeah, but then like the whole thing is just
it's
first of all, the idea that anyone wants to have sex with Tom Sandoval is like something that is very confusing to me.
You know, he played here in like Des Plaines. Like he was no, I did not. Like I saw he was coming and I sent it to Leslie. I'm like, oh my God, we have to go there. She's like, I am not giving that fucking asshole $40 a ticket to like go see him.
He might be the worst singer of all time.
He's awful.
He's worse than the Crazy Eights or whatever. No, I keep calling
the figure eights, whatever. The circle eights, the magic 8 balls. I feel like that would have been fun, right? Like because this might have been before your time, but you remember those like leather jackets in the 90s where everyone had like the 8 balls on the back?
Oh, it's not like a motorcycle. Is that like a motorcycle reference?
No, I think it was like a drug dealer reference. Like it was like a very like Vanilla Ice kind of jacket that like people would wear.
I know who that is though.
Yeah. Oh God. The fact that you said I know who that is, like it's a thing that like, oh yeah. There you go, Grandpa.
Yeah, you're good.
Where are we? I don't even know.
Oh, Bandy.
Yeah. So I don't know anything else on that. Otherwise, we can kind of get to the questions and just
Yeah. Well, do we think Sheena's ever or not Sheena? Do we like Stassi's never coming back, right?
What is? Are you getting texts while we're talking?
Am I? Can you hear it? Can you hear it? I didn't look.
100%, I can hear it.
Okay, well, I did get a text.
Wait, who's coming back? Who did you ask?
Is Stassi ever coming back?
No, I don't think so.
I don't either.
Because she had that whole thing where like everyone, says she's racist now. Because,
right.
Yeah, I don't think she can come back. Like,
no, she can't. All right, let's get to the questions.
Do you want to read like whatever it is? Is that like Tinder or something? Is that a dating app?
No.
Come on.
I mean, maybe it could be. I have a couple of dates this week. Joe, I'm trying to get out there more.
Good for you. I can't imagine dating.
None of your listeners have followed me or fucking offered me their sons.
Your first mistake is thinking they're listeners. Like, honestly, I could not post this and everyone would be like, yeah, that's totally fine, whatever.
No, we're posting it. I will 100%. Help you. I'll help tell the reader or the listeners to listen. My mom will get at least 10 people.
God bless her. This, I gotta say, like, this is the most unhinged episode that has ever.
You say that every time I'm on, and I'm like,
and every time it is, but like this is, and by no means, like I am 100% here for it. Like I'm very excited about it.
It's all because Logan bailed on us. We had like a whole thing planned.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't even remember the movie we're discussing. So that's
not
helping
made us change the date.
It's totally fine. Like this, honestly, it's been a lot of fun. So, all right, smalltownfailingpodcast.com. You can go there, get links to Instagram, Twitter, all that sort of fun. Every week I kind of post up. We can send in questions. First one, do you think Hallmark should have its own music festival?
That is a fabulous question.
Well, have you heard about this? They're doing a cruise, like a Hallmark cruise. You can go and like...
You're going, obviously.
I sent it to Leslie. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? Which, I don't know.
She's like, you make me watch these every week. Yeah, like, I'm not doing this.
It would be a lot of fun, but then like, you know, and again, like we both thoroughly enjoy a lot of these movies, and I by no means is this whole podcast made to like goof on them, but like there is a more like traditional audience that I don't think I would want to spend a week with.
No, you're right.
But I think it would be a lot of fun. And then if the figure eights are the type of music that's going to be at a Hallmark music festival, I don't think
that's a no from me, dog. Yeah, I don't think they have the pull to get anyone bigger than the Crazy Eights.
No, yeah. And then the next one we already kind of discussed, but what's your stance on music festivals in general? And I think we both, you know, unless I can go with like other dads and like people just stay away
and
from
be the ones that think you're the narcs.
Yeah, like that's totally fine with me.
Were you back in the day like a big I feel like that probably made sense like for you.
Not festivals. So I grew up in upstate New York, and then after I graduated college I worked in Manhattan, so I used to go to a lot of like shows, but like again, like very small clubs, like shitty metal bands, and like that stuff I love, because you can just stand in a corner, not interact with people.
Yeah.
A lot of times if you're going on like a Tuesday night, there's like 5 other people there to see this band. Like it's very, you know, I don't like crowds. I don't like being kind of squished in with people. Like I get like panic attacks and that sort of thing.
Me too. I don't really. Yeah. You can listen to it on Spotify.
Exactly. It takes a lot for me to go out. Like I do have a couple concerts that I'm going to this summer, but they're like bands I've never seen or like reunited. Like if it's a band that's like touring like every other year, it's rare that I'm going to put effort into going to see it.
Like I'll go, like I went to a couple, I have gone to music, and I'll go to like someone I really care about.
I go to music.
Like, I go to
his job is beach.
His job is, exactly. But it's not my first choice. And I do feel like I'm an underground, like I'm ashamed of it. Like that I'm not like, because everyone's always like on their back to me and dating.
Yeah.
On their dating profile is like, let's go see a live show, or like love music, whatever. And I'm like, God,
that's a lot. That's an investment,
you don't
right?
love it. Also, like everyone just says it because like it's a thing to say.
Well, it's like, yeah, I love music. Like everybody loves music.
Like I love music too, but I don't want to go like see everyone I've ever listened to in stadium. Like it has to be someone I really, really care for. Even so, I probably won't go.
What is the last concert you went to?
I went to Fred again, actually.
I don't know what that is.
Gen Z. He's like, it was a friend. See, I didn't even want to go, but he does like house music. Like it wasn't. But like new age house music where it's like I don't know.
Is ecstasy still a thing? Do people still take ecstasy?
Is that Mom, I didn't take ecstasy. I don't think so. But I also went to like, I go to like randos. Like I went to Jess Glynn. Like I don't go to like famous people.
I don't know what that is. So yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
She's a British singer, but like otherwise, like nice. Harry Styles is probably the love of my life. It's fine. Like me and every other, you know.
Do you watch Love Island UK? Have you watched that?
I need to. I think I watched like 5 seasons ago or something like that.
It's amazing. Do you watch any of the Love Islands?
No, I need to. I need something. Especially the SAG strike. Like we're gonna be fucked here soon.
Love Island UK. Leslie and I have always been very like, I can't even watch the US one because Love Island UK, like it's
accents are just
it's the accents, and also they're just so much more open. So like we watched the US one probably 3 or 4 years ago, and we're like, oh, this is really good. But then we were on vacation and we couldn't get the episodes, and Hulu had the UK version, so we're like, oh, let's give this a go. And it's like literally like holding hands versus like hand jobs in the like the bedroom after, and we're just like, I can't go back to US, like how. But then we just finished the UK and we're like, all right, maybe let's try the US.
Yeah.
The women on the US version, the men are trash. Like the men are trash in every version. The women in the US version are so fucking batshit insane. It is unreal.
It's amazing.
They have like the first coupling up and they're like, all right, we're getting married, right? Like this is happening. Like when do my parents
Wedding Crashers? I just rewatched Wedding Crashers, and when like Isla Fisher's like,
yes,
Jeremy, we're gonna be so happy together.
That is amazing. That is a perfect. It is like literally every woman on that show is Isla Fisher in that movie. Like we're talking like day 3, and the guys are like, I think I want to talk to some of the other people here in the villa, and they're like, we're together. I thought we had something. You are trash. Like, it is amazing. You have to watch it. It's so good.
I need new shows, so I'm into it.
All
right, sold.
That's it for questions. Small Town Failing Podcast. You can get links to all the Instagrams and the Twitters and what's the new one? The threads.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. X or
no, X is Twitter now. Okay. The other one is
my brain. Did you see it turn off and on? I was
a little bit. Like there was the hamster like stalled for a little bit on like the little running wheel. Link to Cameo if you want. smalltownfailingpodcast@gmail.com if you want to send in a question or anything. What's the other one? Oh, iTunes and Spotify reviews. Thank you to everybody that's done that. Katelin, what's your dating app of choice where people can find you?
I'm on Hinge, Raya, Bumble. I'm on them all, baby.
On them all?
Literally, it's so depressing. At Katelin Randall on Instagram. Feel free to send me any of your family members who are single.
God bless. Katelin, thank you so much for doing this.
Will you invite me back, though, for real?
Oh, my God, no. Like, Logan, like, we have to do a show with the three of
I would just like to say I didn't beg for it this time. I've been, like, trying to play it cool. So...
anytime you want to come on, honestly, just send me a message.
All right.
I have this is so weird. Like, I do this because I need like some sort of outlet to do something.
Yeah.
And it's obviously like, I talk to, sometimes it's people I've never talked to before.
Yeah.
But I also have such anxiety about asking people. Like, I literally look at like the last time someone was on and I'm like, is that too soon? Am I asking like too much and bothering them? So by all means, like, anytime. Like,
we're gonna come back with Logan here soon, and the three of us, we could be naughty together. It would be okay.
That felt weird. That felt so weird. I mean,
I meant unhinged, but it came out naughty, and you know what? I don't know how to walk it back.
I mean, if I put any effort into this, I would edit it out, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
So
also, wait, you're now doing video? Look at like the first two, no one's seen my face. Maybe now your followers are gonna be like, she's not a gutter troll.
Absolutely. And also, look at this fucking backdrop. Like outside of
lives.
Yeah, like you're obviously pulling in some scratch. So like,
I just don't have any kids. That's where like I don't.
That's a selling point. Like honestly, Leslie's probably listening to this and like, I'll date her. Like if I can get these fucking kids out of her life.
Deal. Leslie, come on over, baby.
She is one like the most amazing person. Like you two should 100% date. Like
you are so lucky. You are so.
I really am.
She puts up with your shit.
Like you met like. All right, hon, it's a Sunday night. I'm going to go down and record my Hallmark movie podcast. Like
Does she just laugh and like go back to what she's doing, or is she just like unfazed?
The fact that she can even look me in the face, like after, like I don't. God bless her.
Literally, God bless her.
Yeah, Katelin. Thank you so much. This has been amazing.
We're going to see each other soon. We're going to do another one of these soon.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. I don't know what we're doing next time, but, there'll be a thing. And, thanks.
Do you pay for the sound, by the way?
No, we're done. No, this is royalty 3.
Okay, there you go.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.